Hey guys, welcome back to more educational chess puzzle content. We're doing extra hard puzzles on chess.com, working our way up to 2500. Right now we're 2285. So we got 5 puzzles to get today to go through. Let's go through each of them. Let's hop into the first one. Go into analysis. So the first puzzle, Black plays King F8. Let's analyze the position a little bit. So we're down a piece. If we count the pieces, we have 4 and they have 5. So we're down a piece. Immediately what comes to mind is like, okay, we probably have to mate or something like that. So this check is here. A calculated check. Only 2 legal moves, right? Um, if they go something like this, I saw that I feel like this leads to mate pretty shortly, or something pretty bad for black. So that didn't look very good. Something like this. Um, then looks like they have to give away the queen. So I saw that was winning. The only thing else to calculate was if black goes king f7. Um, I saw here to follow up the onslaught. But what kind of stopped me from doing that was queen here. Um, Let me show you. Queen here blocks and there's no more checks. We're forced to trade queens and our attack is over. So that actually made me hesitate in terms of like, okay, I don't really see a continuation if we trade queens. It's just our attack is over and we're down a piece, right? So we have to win back our piece. I saw winning back our piece. Let me show you here. We take back. This knight is actually hanging because we have 2 attackers on it. If we go back to all the way to the beginning, it was originally defended by the pawn, but we took the pawn with check, right? So now after the trade, our queen, their knight is actually hanging. So this is actually the solution. We go down the path. Here, what I noticed was that, okay, even though we trade queens, it looks like we have an even number of pieces, but we have 2 extra pass pawns. Pass pawns, remember, are the ones that don't have like opponent pawns on their adjacent files or the file that they're on. So it's a lot easier to promote these pawns. So going back to the puzzle, yeah, I realized that here we have 2 pass pawns and they play because or I guess we're up 3 pawns. I didn't even notice. Even if we're I was a little bit hesitant because I only saw 1 pass pawn. I only saw this one when the pieces were on, but I realized like, oh yeah, we have another one. So here the puzzle continues. They just give 1 last check. Maybe enticing a blunder, but here of course is a discover attack on our knight. We have to trade it off, and that's the end of the puzzle. Here with 2 connected 2 pass pawns not connected, it should be an easy win. That's the first puzzle. So yeah, just running it through. Yeah, that's it. Second puzzle, let's go into analysis. What did white do? Okay, white plays here. I actually thought about this one for a really long time because the obvious move here and here, and I didn't see any continuation. So I'll show you on the board. Here, I saw this. Obviously, this would be a really nice mate, but like this is a dovetail mate, I believe. But their rook is defending, so that would not work. Next thing I noticed was this pawn is actually super weak. If there was a way for us to gang up on it, it would be super nice to deliver mate here. So that was the idea. I think that was the only other idea I had. Like, how else can we check, right? I thought about this to like kind of stop the rook from defending the square, but this gives like white an onslaught of checks, if not even mate, probably. Something like this. And then, yeah. So that's no good. So, the question here now is, okay, if I'm going to go with this idea to attack this pawn, how do I go about doing it? I have to use the rook, right? I only have one other piece. Going back to the position, just to be complete, I realized here that there's no immediate threats from white that would, you know, give like an onslaught of checks. There's no way to check with the queen, no way to check with the rooks without just like giving it up. So I knew that I don't need to like have an immediate move to like keep checking. I could have like a quiet move. And that's why I thought that like, okay, I have time to come in and attack this pawn one way or another. Now, there are two ways to attack the pawn. With this checkmate in mind, imagining the rook's not here, that means that this rook is tied to this, I guess this row. Is this a row? A rank? Yeah. Which means that, I mean, it plays a significant factor because if I went here, right, then they would not use this rook to defend because this would just be mate, right? The one that we were talking about. They would use this one to defend. And I noticed that there's no way to continue here because there's no more checks, there's no more attacks, everything's pretty well defended, right? I could check here, which doesn't amount to anything. I'm still out of checks. I can't even check here because of their rook. So the thing that I thought about was here. Now this looks like it works, or it looks like it doesn't work because they could just go here. But remember that this rook has to stay on this rank. So this rook actually ends up being hanging because the pawns are going this way. It's not like this pawn is defending this way, it's defending this way. So I could just take this and they can't take back because of the same mate. So that's the trick into deciding which one to go with. One, there's an adequate defense, and one, there's no adequate defense because, yeah, it's not, this rook is not actually defended. You could go the same here, right? That doesn't work. There's no way for this queen to defend this pawn without sacrificing itself. So in the puzzle, they actually just went here. Obviously the rook's hanging. I didn't think there's any tactics that led to some tricks, so I just took. And then they basically gave away their rook. I thought that, I mean, what is it? Only move, so I don't know why they gave this. I thought it would be dangerous, but because we're revealing this row once we move our pawn, but this is actually a check, so it's good enough. That's the end of this puzzle. Okay, this one I actually didn't get, but I had the idea correct. So I'm pretty mad about it. Let me show you. So I would love to bring this rook over to checkmate white, right? But there's not enough time. If I, oh, sorry, let me go into analysis, my bad. Okay, so let's take a look at the position again now that we can see the whole thing. So we're kind of like going in for the kill here. And I would love to bring this rook over here to like go for the kill. This queen is kind of offsides, like can't come into play here. But there's queen here check, and it starts to get super annoying. I don't see immediate win, probably something like this, and then I don't know, they have perpetual, it seems like at most, or at least. Um, so that's not, like, we're not fast enough there. Now I did notice, like, okay, if I take like this, they take, and I can pin now, because like the queen's far away and the queen's here, it actually guards this pawn so they can't really infiltrate. So let me show you on the board. Here, here, and here, like, I'm pinning, and I have time to bring my rook in. Now this actually does not work. I analyzed after I did it, because their queen can come in and actually, like, what was it exactly? Queen a4 check. Oh shoot, yeah. Obviously, their queen's coming in, and I'm just getting beat up like this, and call the ambulance, but not for me, kind of thing, or but actually for me. So going here doesn't actually work, but the idea is correct. Like, you do want to be here and guard this pawn, but you want to do it with do it for free. Let me show you what I mean. So here, instead of going for the pin immediately, going for a check is actually better. Queen can't guard because it just hangs, so they have to guard with their rook, and then come in here, and now they have to defend like this. This is the only move. Now rewind to here. I had to play a move here, and now it's white's turn. But with the right sequence, now we're in the same position, but it's black's turn. It's our turn. So we basically get a free turn here and bring our rook over. And now mate is inevitable. They end up giving away their queen here, which is, I guess, the only way to play on. Trading queen for a rook, and now we're just up material, right? It's easy, pretty easy win. So that's this puzzle. Next puzzle. We got two more. Okay, this puzzle, I just saw that, like, oh, that's what black played. Black played rook f g8, rook g8, rook h g8, because of the h file. Yeah. Okay, but anyways, I saw that, okay, our pieces are all crowded over here, right? And all pointing towards their king. It seems like somehow, some way we should be mating them. I didn't count the number of pieces, but like that was just from intuition. But let's count them just to be sure. 2, 4, 6, 7. They have 7 pieces. 2, 4, 6. We're down 1 piece. It looks like we're down a bishop, light square bishop. So here in this kind of puzzle, we have to win back our material and then some. That's how these puzzles usually work. So, but I knew, like, from all this attack, somehow there's probably a mate. So one thing that I saw was here. I'll show you on the board. Here, and then I was like, going for mate somehow here, but you know, you could just take, and then it doesn't look that interesting. And then I was thinking maybe, like, is there a check here, or even like forcing a take, and then some kind of sack to bring the rook in like this. But yeah, it didn't really need that, because I noticed, like, this. I noticed the knight could go here. Like, in order for the queen to come in here to attack like this, right? We want our knight here so that it attacks their king and gives checkmate, because there's no more squares. So how do we do that? Okay, what if I move my knight there first? Okay, so I saw this move, and that gives away the knight like this. But now, because this square is defended by the pawn, the king can't actually go out here. Um, and this is a pretty common theme where it's kind of like a back rank, actually, but it's a side rank or side, what is this called? Side file. Where like all these squares are taken by the king and this row or column is just like free for coming in. So here it would just be a simple mate like this. Um, the king has no squares to go to. So they can't take. But here, now it's like they move their king back and now we go in for the same idea, right? Same idea that I mentioned. So this is the correct move. What happened in the puzzle? I think literally here, and it was in the puzzle, but it's a forced mate because the queen just comes in, like the same idea that I said. So that's this puzzle. Let's go into the last puzzle. This one, let's see. What do I do? Okay. White played b3, which exposes this diagonal. That's the first thing I saw. Like, oh baby, you giving me this for free? That's crazy. Okay, that means intuitively I want to do something like this. Like, okay, free up this diagonal and now I can take this with check. It's an onslaught, that kind of thing. But here I noticed that they can just block with their knight, and now there's nothing really interesting, right? I have to take, or like if I want to save this bishop, move it back, and the attack's basically over. If anything, I think I lose a pawn here. Yeah. So the sequence kind of matters here because I thought that actually this bishop was kind of loose. It's defended by the knight, but excuse me, it's defended by the knight. But if I'm playing like in game, right? Um, I'm thinking like, oh, I want to move this knight somewhere else, and the knight is currently defending the bishop. So the bishop either has to move somewhere, or I needed to make another piece like come up and defend it before I move my knight, so my pieces aren't hanging. There's a discover, like, even though this knight is pinned to the queen, and this enforces the pin, there's still opportunity for it to like jump away, and now like the bishop might be hanging. There's just a lot of complications that come with that. So one thing that from from that all that calculation, one thing that I saw was, okay, instead of dealing with all that, why don't I just trade it? Now I'm attacking their queen, so they kind of have to take, or else I just win a free piece, right? Counting the pieces real quick: 2, 4, 6. We have 6 pieces. 2, 4, 6. They have 6 pieces. 2 rooks. So basically even material. So okay, they don't want to be down a piece, so they have to take. Now I push the same idea with the discover attack on their knight. There's no way for the queen to move away to defend their knight, and I'm attacking their queen with the pawn. So here they just give away their rook. That's the end of the puzzle. So we basically end up trading a pawn for a rook, which is a pretty good deal. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me for this video. I'm planning on doing more educational content. I recently made a beginner chess tactics and wait, what was it? Chess basics and strategy for beginners. If you're a beginner, please check out that video. Let me know what you think. I'll be making more educational content as well. I'm thinking about making like checkmate patterns video, as well as all the different motifs like pins, forks, what are some examples, interference, discover checks, things like that. If you have any suggestions or what you will want to see, in these videos, feel free to leave a comment and I'll read through them and decide which ones to do. But I'm gonna continue making educational content because I find it pretty entertaining. So yeah, subscribe and like to the video, and I'll see you around. See ya.